How does the war in Ukraine impact India? Well, I can think of a long list, but I'll give you the most obvious impact. India's ties with Russia are under pressure. India's strategic autonomy is under pressure. The West wants New Delhi to dump Moscow and join their military alliance. India is not prepared to do that. Tonight, we'll discuss why. Why does India not want that option? You see, India's own strategic challenges, security challenges are quite complex, and the biggest one is China at the moment. It's a constant challenge, and now it's back in the news. At the India-China border, the PLA is making disturbing moves, and we're talking about a disputed border, a border where China has repeatedly provoked India, a region that saw deadly clashes in 2020. This is the region we're talking about. China is back in action there. And tonight we'll tell you about their latest provocation. They're building bridges. Not the metaphorical type, the kind of bridges that improve connectivity of their army. This is in eastern Ladakh. The construction is on the Chinese side. It is designed to weaken the defenses of the Indian army. Tonight on Gravitas, we'll discuss what is China's endgame. We'll start with the latest information that we have. Where is this new bridge? Near Pangong So, on the Chinese side, the Pangong Lake. When did China start building this bridge? Well, going by some reports, around 3 weeks back. And you know how fast the Chinese move when it comes to construction. It's something they love to boast about. And this new bridge is seeing the same speed. In fact, it's being built from both sides. And this is China's second bridge in a year. It finished building the first bridge just last month. So now the second bridge is being built right next to the first one. Another question, why does China need two bridges near a disputed border? The purpose is quite clear, to get more soldiers and weapons to the disputed region, to have quicker options to attack. The first bridge they built can accommodate soldiers and lighter vehicles. The second one they're building is reportedly bigger in size. It's wider, which means it can be used for bigger consignments, not just soldiers. The PLA can also send armored columns with heavy weapons. Now let's zoom out of this map and try to look at the big picture. Why should India worry about these bridges? After all of this construction is happening on the Chinese side. India should worry because these bridges are not development projects. This is China ramping up its military infrastructure. After igniting the border dispute, the Chinese have been on a building spree, and these bridges are being connected with roads. Do you know where they lead to? One of China's biggest military garrisons in the region, the Moldo garrison. In fact, one of the roads is ready. It was completed in 2021. What purpose do these roads and bridges serve? They're meant to counter India's natural defense. I'll explain what that means. Let me take you back to 2020. Do you remember what happened right after the clashes in Galwan? The Indian army had responded by occupying strategic heights. Indian soldiers held up to 30 dominating heights, and this was just before the disengagement. So India controlled the heights, and from these vantage points, India could monitor Chinese forces. Indian soldiers could track Chinese movements near the border. Now China is trying to cut that advantage. This new construction opens up new routes for the PLA. Reports say it can circumvent the visibility arc of the Indian forces. So you could say that China is preparing for another clash. It is working on multiple options to challenge India. And this goes beyond roads and bridges. I have more satellite images. This is China's Hotan Airport. It is just north of Aksai Chin. China has built a second runway for military flights here. Here's another Chinese military airport. This one is in the Tibetan Plateau. The planes that you see on your screen are Chinese bomber jets. This aircraft is capable of conducting long-range precision strikes, and they've been deployed along the disputed border with India. Now join these dots. China is building all kinds of military infrastructure, small airports, landing strips, even heated accommodation for soldiers in the area, and these developments have not gone unnoticed. Well, if we can see them, of course the Indian Army can. Their Eastern commander has issued an assessment, and I had that statement with me. This is what it says. The other side is constantly upgrading their road, rail and air connectivity, as well as 5G mobile network. The Chinese authorities have built border villages close to the LAC that can be used for dual purposes. So what is India's response? India too is upgrading military infrastructure on the Indian side of the border. In December last year, 27 new roads and bridges were inaugurated. Many of them are close to China. But there's no denying the fact that the Indian forces need more firepower. The United States, in fact, senses an opportunity here. So here's what they're planning. Luring India into their sphere of influence, deepening military ties with India. There's talk of a $500 million military aid package to India. What kind of offer is this? Reports say India could use this money to get American weapons, and this is significant. Look at the last few months. India does not back American sanctions. India does not join American criticism of Russia. India does not give in to American lectures, and yet Washington feels compelled to make overtures to New Delhi. Also, $500 million is a substantial amount, close to 4,000 crore rupees. It would make India one of the largest recipients of American military aid. But is this offer meaningful? Critics have raised their doubts. India needs to spend way more than $500 million on military upgrades. India needs major weapon platforms like fighter jets, naval ships, battle tanks. $500 million will not cover that. Purchases of this kind run into billions of dollars. For context, let me tell you how much the Rafale jets cost. India bought 36 Rafale jets for $8.8 billion. So the US may try to woo India all it wants to. New Delhi has to be clear about its needs. Diversify procurement, maintain strategic autonomy. Because the challenge from China is growing every day. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.